70 million years ago in the Nemec Basin, a group of Zanabazar dinosaurs had their eyes on a Dinochirus's eggs. The Dinochirus, due to its enormous size, had very poor physical flexibility. Although it possessed powerful forelimbs, it was outnumbered by the attackers. One Zanabazar took advantage of a moment when the Dinochirus was too slow to turn around during the fight, quickly rushing toward the egg pile and successfully stealing and eating an unhatched egg. Although the Dinochirus heard the sound of it eating the egg, it was already too late to stop it. During this ambush, the mother Dinochirus lost one egg, but such losses were commonplace with their incubation method. Looking at the broken eggshell and spilled egg contents, the Dinochirus knew one of its children was gone. Losing one egg in exchange for the safety of the others was still a blessing from nature, because during their time, if defense failed, the chances of losing an entire nest of eggs were extremely high. To ensure the remaining undamaged eggs could hatch quickly, the Dinochirus, which needed food after the intense physical exertion, now had no time to eat and immediately resumed incubation work. To continue the next generation, these giant dinosaurs had to endure all kinds of hardships and pain, tolerating hunger and threats from various predators. After who knows how long, the mother Dinochirus finally used her body heat to incubate the surrounding eggs to maturity. The wobbling egg meant a baby Dinochirus was about to break out of its shell and enter this cruel world. The first hatchling to emerge meant the Dinochirus's efforts during this period had finally paid off. After months of hardship, it finally saw the birth of new life. Due to being oviparous and limited by egg size, the offspring of these behemoths were only about the size of kittens or puppies when first born, looking very cute. The hatching of one baby meant the rest of the eggs were basically mature too, and these hatchlings would all crawl out of their shells over the next few days. The Dinochirus looked at the nest full of little hatchlings with both joy and extreme anxiety. Becoming a mother for the first time to so many hatchlings made feeding them the biggest challenge it now faced. But life would always find a way. These primarily herbivorous, omnivorous dinosaurs were relatively easy to raise, with abundant vegetation providing plenty of food. The newborns had higher dietary requirements, so after finding edible plants, the mother Dinochirus would first pick the tenderest parts to leave for the little hatchlings. While gathering food, it was also teaching these little ones the most basic survival skills. The baby Dinochirus were born with the ability to digest vegetation, and these tender leaves basically met their dietary needs. Watching the little hatchlings happily fighting over food filled the mother Dinochirus with satisfaction, because when it was still a juvenile dinosaur, it had witnessed the tragic scene of its entire family being hunted. It didn't want this to happen again. However, in the Law of the Jungle dinosaur era, such mass killings wouldn't stop just because it had become a mother. The mother Dinochirus, with no combat experience to speak of, fought against a 4.5-ton Tarbosaurus using its 6.4-ton frame. Although it had almost no fighting experience, it had usable forelimbs. The battle-hardened Tarbosaurus knew exactly where its weak points were, and its deadly jaws clamped down hard on the Dinochirus's vulnerable neck. Under such bite force, no dinosaur could withstand this fatal blow. Already severely injured, the Dinochirus continued struggling with the Tarbosaurus through sheer willpower. When it suffered a second savage bite from the Tarbosaurus, the barely standing Dinochirus mustered its last ounce of strength and forcefully pushed over the Tarbosaurus. By now, the mother Dinochirus had completely abandoned hope of survival and fought desperately with the Tarbosaurus. The predator gained no advantage in the fight and had to temporarily give up hunting this family. Driven away by the mother Dinochirus, the Tarbosaurus had no choice but to leave in frustration. The little hatchlings had no idea their mother had lost all hope of survival. The moment the Tarbosaurus left, the mother Dinochirus collapsed, its fall signaling that death had come. It would never have the chance to watch these newborn hatchlings grow up, nor could it protect them from future dangers anymore. Becoming a mother hadn't changed its tragic fate. Instead, it passed on multiplied suffering to its children. These hungry baby Dinochirus were now in an even more difficult situation than their mother had been. While dinosaur species managed to survive on Earth for hundreds of millions of years, those individuals who grew up with mothers were undoubtedly the lucky ones. But in reality, many dinosaur hatchlings, like these baby Dinochirus, had to face harsh survival challenges from the moment they hatched. With their mother gone, their long road of growth had only just begun. Life would always find a way to continue, but their future survival would ultimately depend on themselves.